Good evening, dear JCPS. Since in 2017, as you know, charter school legislation was passed but not funded. Sensing a chill in the air regarding charters and test marketing in other states that demonstrated the public disdain of vouchers existed, the ALEC legislators were given a new task to pass scholarship tax credits, providing the opportunity for their investors to siphon money from the vast public school coffers by laundering them directly to private schools. No need to even stop in the general fund basket. This isn't their first rodeo. In fact, charters, vouchers, scholarships, and myriad other hedge fund darling investments have been the law of the land in 43 other states, so they know how to penetrate a market. And once they're in, they can have their way with everything they want. We know this. We've heard from allies in Indiana, Tennessee, Florida, Arizona, California, West Virginia, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Iowa, Washington. The list goes on and on. They tell us, whatever you do, do not let them in. It's much harder to get them out once you have them. Here in Kentucky, we've seen the writing on the wall. We don't have to use our imagination to figure out what they're up to. I know you see it. It's part of the reason we elected you. We've literally managed to keep them at bay. Teachers are fighting to keep them at bay this very moment in Frankfort. We can do this. And these aren't just Kentucky teachers, these are your teachers. These are JCPS teachers fighting for our schools in Frankfort. School closures and mergers and reduction of local control, SB250, which we're very disappointed that had some of your endorsements. This is all part of the maneuvers to take over our schools. This had David Jones, who we unelected, behind it. It had Scala and Cosby behind it. We are at a chapter, these are all from a chapter in the playbook that makes room for charters, as is ending busing and choice, not to mention high-stakes test scores, which private schools don't have to take, and they're used to label our schools as failing. We have an inequitable student assignment plan that leads to achievement gaps, behavioral challenges, and feeds the pipeline to prison. You showed us these dots yourself at the last work session. The more they can make public schools plain vanilla, the easier it will be to sell charters to those who can afford them, not with tuition, but with social capital, status, and privilege. As are any of the items from the audit, could have resulted in a disingenuous audit result, leading to a dissolution of your powers. Wayne Lewis will control the board. Voila, you know that you now have your funding mechanism without having to wait for Frankfurt. In order to stop this agenda in its tracks, we must outmaneuver them. One way to do this is addressing the inequities in student assignment instead of kicking the can down the road. Fayette is not a comparison. They don't have a district of choice. You've got a district set up based on a manipulated enrollment number. We have to put student assignment ahead of facilities because we may be shifting seats. We need the freedom to shift our seats and make a more equitable student assignment plan. Just wait 3 months. If you pass this building new schools out east and closing other facilities based on current enrollment numbers that have been manufactured by a district that has the best intentions, but as a plan we see is clearly not working, you are locking in an inequitable plan for our most vulnerable students.
I'm sorry, but we are trying to stick to 3 minutes. Our next speaker is Anastasia Kaufman. Anastasia Kaufman, welcome, Ms. Kaufman.